What is up, my beautiful people? My name is G-Vance and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about the new album by Woody Smalls entitled In Between Spaces. This is Woody Smalls' second album since 2015's Soft Parade, which that one, in my opinion, was a really like perfect start to his discography. And now 4 years later comes this album, which in my opinion is way more fucking different than Soft Parade was. I barely got into Woody Smalls last year because a really good friend of mine named Anastasia, she asked me if I could listen to the Soft Parade album and give my thoughts and opinions about it. And I found myself really loving that whole first album. And I was just, just getting ready to see what else he would drop next. The reason why Woody Smalls grabbed my attention so much last year was probably because when you compare him to the new rappers and the underrated rappers, this man is on a whole nother fucking planet. He kind of reminds me of Will Smith when he first started rapping, only I would personally argue that Woody Smalls is a lot more bold than Will Smith when it comes to his rapping skills. That being said, this album is a kind of like a hit or miss album for me because there are a lot of positives about it, and at the same time, there are some negatives about it. So let me just start off with the positives first. First of all, Woody Smalls is a very nerdy kid, and you can obviously tell by the production value of this album. This whole album sounds like the fucking soundtrack to a sci-fi movie, and I overall really loved the futuristic vibes that this album gave out. Woody Smalls even adds a lot of video game sound effects as background noise to a lot of the songs on the album, which I personally appreciate. Not that many rappers out here are comfortable with showing their weird and nerdy and just their geeky gamer side in their music because obviously they don't want to be seen as soft. So I really am glad that Woody Smalls not only kept it real with us but kept it real to himself by adding that video game sound effect as background noise to show us who he really is outside of his music. Woody Smalls has obviously been improving on his rapping skills since Soft Parade, which I'm honestly glad he did because his flow has gotten so much fucking better. I really loved hearing him spit metaphor after metaphor and just come up with some pretty clever punchlines. And I honestly really loved how his flow changed depending on the song. There were some songs where he's chill, and then there were some songs where he just becomes a fucking lyrical fucking monster. For example, there's this one song called Watch Out on this album that is probably my personal favorite because that one took me by surprise. It's only a 2-minute song, but the moment you fucking click on it, that dude just goes in. He does not fucking hesitate. No pauses whatsoever. He just fucking goes in, and I was just fully surprised because I was okay, I did not know where this came from, but fuck yeah, this is the Woody Smalls I've been waiting for. Another big highlight for me is definitely the features on this album because not only does Woody Smalls collaborate with underrated talents like Wada and Coeli, but he also manages to collaborate with two modern rap superstars like Isaiah Rashad from the Top Dog Entertainment label and AK the Savior from the Underachievers, which I was super fucking surprised. I did not expect to hear those two on a fucking Woody Smalls album. This man fucking made it, and I really hope he does get signed to either fucking Pro Era or to fucking Top Dog Entertainment. He really sounded good next to Isaiah Rashad and AK the Savior, and I really hope they collaborate more as the future goes on. And now let's talk about the negatives because unfortunately there are a few negatives that just make this album not sound as good as Soft Parade, for me at least. First of all, I don't know what fucking weird trap style that Woody Smalls was going for this album, but I did not fucking enjoy it. As you all know, I am not a fan of fucking trap to begin with, but I was really hoping that Woody Smalls was gonna make a style that I was personally gonna like. And honestly, a lot of the trap songs on this album sound like a typical trap song that you hear on the radio that makes you want to fucking skip it. It's just really unfortunate that his style of trap did not do it for me. I honestly always try to appreciate whenever an artist adds a little weird thing to music because honestly I don't think there's enough weird shit in music these days, but a lot of the trap beats in this album just sounded so rushed and just sounded all over the place. I kind of found myself taking a pause because I just couldn't figure out what kind of trap style they were going for. It just it just sounded like so fucking rushed and so unorganized. Another big no for me on this album is definitely Woody Small's singing voice. You know, I'm not saying it sounds bad because his singing voice sounded just fine and fucking great in Soft Parade in my opinion, but the thing that makes his voice sound really bad in this one is definitely the fucking autotune. You know, I don't usually mind autotune. You know, I'm not a big fan of autotune, but I don't like mind when I hear it, but the autotune on this album just makes Woody Smalls sound super fucking obnoxious, unfortunately. And it's unfortunate because I found myself, you know, loving every fucking song on Soft Parade. You know, Soft Parade was an album that I generally really fucking enjoyed. And then here comes this new album where there are at least 4 tracks that I don't fucking like because the beats just sound super unorganized and super rushed, and because Woody Smalls like auto-tune voice just sounds super fucking obnoxious to the point where I wanted to like just stop fucking listen to the whole album in general. I would say the first half of this album I generally did not enjoy and don't fucking care for it. Then when I got to the last half of the album is when I started to enjoy it more and actually like, you know, I started to like this album. So to me, this album was just okay, which is really unfortunate because I really enjoyed Soft Parade and I really wanted to like love this one as well. But you know, I gotta be honest, it's just that first half that like kind of killed it for me. At the end of the day, I realized that this is barely Woody Smalls' second album, so obviously he has future projects he's gonna drop that are probably gonna make me enjoy it more than this one. And obviously he was just trying to have fun and just experiment with a bunch of like different shit for his music, so honestly I can't really be mad at that. Overall, I recommend this album to anyone that's been a fan of Woody Smalls for a very long time, and to anybody that wants to hear something new and underrated. At least listen to that final half of the album, because in my opinion, that final half is the only like decent and enjoyable part of this album. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed my review. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell down below, all that good stuff so you don't miss a single one of my uploads whatsoever. And don't forget to stay happy.
Posing for a picture, let's drink lots of liquor. I be posted with the